In Texas, a fight over voting rights is heating up as dozens of bills make their way through the state legislature there. NBC News Now correspondent Priscilla Thompson joins us from the state capitol in Austin. So, Priscilla, at least one of these bills is up for a vote in the Capitol this week. Break this all down for us. How many bills are there total, and what happens if they pass?
Good morning, Joe. According to the Brennan Center for Justice, which tracks all of this across the nation, Texas right now leads the country with 49 new, more restrictive voting bills that have been introduced in this legislative session. And I want to tick through some of the things that those bills would change. One, it would prohibit voting in garages or tents. And as a reminder, this was a big deal during the fall election when Harris County, that county that represents the greater Houston area, offered drive-through voting during the pandemic. And Republicans at that time sued the county several times, seeking to throw out all the ballots that had been cast in that way. And ultimately, a judge opposed that. But now we see that coming up as an issue in these bills. There are also measures that would seek to standardize the hours which people could vote across the state, something that advocates say would create challenges in larger populated, primarily Democratic urban areas. And again, seeming to be a direct relation to what happened in the fall when some areas offered 24-hour voting for folks. And there are just a host of other things in these bills as well, including shortening that window of time to return that absentee ballot. And as you mentioned, one of those bills is going to be voted on the House floor on Thursday. And if passed, it would then go on to the Senate. But there are two big bills that we're watching right now that are making their way through the Texas legislature and could have an impact in possibly becoming law in the next several weeks. Joe? So,
Priscilla, several prominent leaders as well as dozens of Texas-based businesses have formed a coalition against these voting bills. What's their message?
Yeah, Joe, we learned about that coalition here just in the past several days. And on Tuesday, those business leaders signed on to an open letter to Texas lawmakers saying that they would oppose new, more restrictive voting laws. That letter reads in part, quote, "We stand together as a nonpartisan coalition calling on all elected leaders in Texas to support reforms that make democracy more accessible and oppose any changes that would restrict eligible voters' access to the ballot." And that letter is signed by a number of big businesses that are based here, from American Airlines to Microsoft and even Patagonia, along with a number of local businesses and local chambers of commerce. Joe?
And Priscilla, you mentioned a couple big bills on the horizon. Looking ahead, what can we expect to see happen with all this legislation in the coming weeks?
Yeah, those two big bills that we're watching very closely right now are House Bill 6 and Senate Bill 7. And House Bill 6 is what is going to be voted on, or it's been placed on the calendar to be voted on Thursday. But Senate Bill 7 has actually already made its way through both chambers. And so what could happen on Thursday is that those folks would say Senate Bill 7 is so similar to House Bill 6 that we're going to go ahead and vote on both and push Senate Bill 7 through to committee, which would put it on the fast track to becoming law. Joe?
All right, Priscilla, thank you so much.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.